Tony Khan freezes out wrestlers he thinks are WWE-bound, the best and worst of WWE SNME. Triple H is ruining Cody Rhodes' reign. Surprising accusations leveled against Cody Rhodes. Saturday night's main event 41 failed to live up to the expectations. CM Punk was angry with Jey Uso after a horrifying botch. Drew McIntyre and LA Knight have suffered greatly from Triple H's booking. Triple H signs a wrestling legend's sons to WWE, a dream Roman Reigns feud. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE SNME. WWE Saturday night's main event saw two fresh champs get crowned. On top of that, Drew McIntyre took one more tough defeat, while Dominik Mysterio held onto his Intercontinental title. Here are the top highs and deep lows from this big show in Utah. Number 1, best. Jade Cargill and CM Punk grabbed WWE Gold as new champs. Jade Cargill made her heel turn on a fresh SmackDown before she took down Tiffany Stratton at Saturday night's main event. It had been ages since the Storm pulled off a huge win in WWE, and she at last claimed SmackDown's main prize in Utah. Cargill's opening run as women's champion in the company based in Stamford feels like a smart move forward for her. Plus, it sets up a massive clash with Bianca Belair down the line. As for CM Punk, he aimed to take back the World Heavyweight Championship after Seth Rollins stripped it from him at SummerSlam 2025. He nailed the win at SNME and now stands ready to rule Raw as its leading champ. Number 2, worst. Cody Rhodes could have a bad injury. Cody Rhodes held his right knee after missing a Cody Cutter try. By the match close, Rhodes looked like he could barely walk, sparking worries about how he is doing. The American Nightmare may be hurt, yet WWE still has no word out on it. If Rhodes got banged up facing McIntyre, that would stand as one of the night's darkest spots. Number 3, best. Dominik Mysterio pulls a sneaky move to keep Intercontinental Gold. Dominik Mysterio keeps getting better and proving his title as the fresh king of the luchadors. At WWE SNME, Dominik beat Rusev and Penta in a triple threat match. In the fight, Dirty Dom tricked the Bulgarian Brute with a clever play on the timekeeper's bell. Rusev figured the bell meant the end, so he let Penta go from the accolade. That mix-up let the Judgment Day star hang onto the title once more. Dominik Mysterio pulling yet another low blow to save his championship made for a standout highlight of the event. Number 4, worst. Drew McIntyre drops a huge one again. Drew McIntyre's path kept sliding down with one more key loss last night. WWE Saturday night's main event had McIntyre fall to Cody Rhodes for the second time on a major card. In the last year, the Scotsman has dropped many title shots even with top-notch showings. Cody Rhodes beating the past Royal Rumble winner might count as the night's lowest point. McIntyre came in with all the fire before SNME, but he came up empty yet again. Triple H is ruining Cody Rhodes' reign. Saturday night's main event 41 delivered a solid show, and folks can't stop chatting about it. It started with Cody Rhodes putting his undisputed WWE Championship on the line against Drew McIntyre. But by the finish, people felt let down since the Scottish Warrior couldn't seal the deal despite a strong fight. With all this, the WWE crowd looks fed up with the American Nightmare's second run so far, hinting that Triple H could be messing it up through odd choices in storylines. People are upset after seeing the clip on WWE's official YouTube channel. The numbers speak for themselves. The video sits at about 8,300 likes and 15,000 dislikes, showing most weren't happy with the close. Plenty of folks online say Cody's hold on the title has grown dull, and that the American Nightmare shines brighter when he's hunting the belt instead of guarding it. Some think Drew McIntyre earns more after getting booked to lose in big title fights over and over. Online reactions have hammered WWE's path for stories. Comments on X and Reddit spill out anger at the result, with many saying the title scene has lost its energy and calls for a quick fix. Love Cody's moves or hate them, the stats prove it. The WWE crowd isn't loving how this played out. Drew McIntyre stands as the main threat to the undisputed WWE Championship right now. He sparked a fierce beef with Cody Rhodes on the SmackDown after SummerSlam when John Cena handed the belt back to Rhodes at the biggest party of the summer. The American Nightmare already topped McIntyre at WrestlePalooza and now once more at SNME XLI. This makes lots think Triple H is slowly wrecking Rhodes' run with the same setups over several big events, meaning he needs fresh rivals to keep his title time fresh. Drew McIntyre picked up tons of fan backing in his clash with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. McIntyre owned Rhodes in their talks on the blue brand. That had many sure the Scotsman would nail it at SNME 41. But no luck for the Scottish Warrior, as the American Nightmare got booked to keep the undisputed WWE Championship at the Utah show. With so many fans rooting for the 40-year-old to take the gold, Rhodes topping McIntyre seems to help him zero. Cody Rhodes hinted at turning bad when he grabbed the undisputed WWE title to hit McIntyre in their fight on the October 17th episode of SmackDown. Good guys don't usually pull dirty moves to win. Though fans got pumped for a possible shift from the American Nightmare, the story team hasn't made it happen yet. Rhodes said sorry to the WWE crowd the next week, which left many let down. Surprising accusations leveled against Cody Rhodes. A well-known WWE name just dropped wild claims on Cody Rhodes in his fight with Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event. That name is Wade Barrett. Heading into Saturday night's main event, Drew McIntyre kept saying in his talks that company bosses handed Cody Rhodes unfair edges, especially in their last big meet at WrestlePalooza 2025. There, the ref suddenly blocked McIntyre from landing a claymore on Rhodes and smashing his head against the announcer's desk side. This let the American Nightmare escape the danger, and the Scottish Warrior wound up injuring himself. The fight closed with Rhodes on top. In their Saturday night's main event battle, announcer Wade Barrett shared with Michael Cole that he pals around with both Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Still, he backed McIntyre's words and figured Rhodes got extra help from bosses at times. Look, and I'll tell you right now, I'm friends with both of these guys, but there are elements of truth in what McIntyre is saying. Cody has been given advantages at times by management that Drew was never given, Wade Barrett said. On the October 17th edition of WWE SmackDown, Cody Rhodes forced a disqualification by smacking Drew McIntyre with the title. A fresh rule got tacked onto their SNME match. If Rhodes pulled a disqualification now, he would drop the title. Even with that rule, the American Nightmare slipped through again to hold the undisputed WWE Championship by dropping his foe with a DDT onto the title as the ref lay out cold. He followed with the Crossroads for the pin win and kept the belt. Folks will watch close to see what the Triple H-run story group lines up next for Cody Rhodes as undisputed WWE Champion. Saturday night's main event 41 failed to live up to the expectations. WWE Saturday night's main event put new champs on top. CM Punk claimed the World Heavyweight Championship, and Jade Cargill grabbed her first women's championship off Tiffany Stratton. Yet, even with those belt swaps, the whole thing fell flat against the build-up. Lots of folks counted on SNME to spark paths toward Survivor Series, War Games, set for November 29th, 2025. Instead, it fizzled out hard. Here's why WWE SNME missed the mark so badly. A WWE show without some wild shock or a big name coming back just feels flat. That's been the magic since Vince McMahon's time, when the top fights at these specials stuck with everyone for good. Lately, though, the company's nights have lost that shine bit by bit over the last few months. Since SummerSlam, every major WWE card has come up short. Take WrestlePalooza, the first one for ESPN, it bombed big time. No surprises, no comebacks. SNME followed the same tired path. Not one story got a real shakeup. People figured the Vision would crash the Jey Uso and CM Punk fight, but Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed stayed away. Brock Lesnar had talk of showing up, but nothing. Cody Rhodes was supposed to hand the undisputed championship to Drew McIntyre, yet he held on. All told, SNME landed way below what anyone hoped, and it spotlights fresh doubts on where the company's stories are headed. Drew McIntyre's rough streak drags on in WWE. He ate another loss to Cody Rhodes just like before. That first drop to Cody at WrestlePalooza made sense enough, but when the story crew set up round 2 with the title at stake, it looked like real change was brewing. Whispers said Cody might cough up the belt to McIntyre, all the more since McIntyre added a rule. Any DQ or countout means Rhodes loses the gold. Cody signed off on that twist before the deal got inked. In the end, though, it meant zip. McIntyre choked down the L once more. It hints WWE might not care to build him up and just slots him in to drop the big ones. Still, crowds adore the 40-year-old star. Tons of the WWE bunch truly rooted for Drew McIntyre to snag the championship at SNME, heel or not. That says heaps about the trust fans keep in him, but Triple H may see it different. Time will tell how WWE lines up McIntyre's spots after these twin gut punches. The top bout between CM Punk and Jey Uso flopped too. Jey Uso seemed checked out in the ring, and CM Punk came off half there himself. It never ramped up to a heart pounder that could grab you. Instead, it dragged on dull, with CM Punk grabbing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship right on cue. On top of that, Jey Uso had been giving off bad guy signals for months, but no full switch hit. Viewers waited for Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed from the Vision to jump in. They got barred from the Raw Battle Royal. But nope, the ring stayed clear, and CM Punk strolled off champ. It'll be a sight to watch Triple H tie up threads for Survivor Series. Now only 3 weeks out, this Monday Night Raw shapes up full of promise. CM Punk was angry with Jey Uso after a horrifying botch. CM Punk snagged the new World Heavyweight Championship in WWE, but he's far from pleased with Jey Uso. The guy pulled off a massive slip-up in their match that sharp-eyed fans caught right away, and even the announcers pointed it out. Jey Uso has climbed into WWE's top ranks over time, yet luck hasn't always been on his side in the ring. Some of his bouts have drawn flack from crowds for lacking punch. Worse, he's tangled in a few messy spots before. That's exactly what went down in the big closer at Saturday night's main event. Punk lined up for a neckbreaker on Jey Uso, a straightforward wrestling spot that pops up everywhere and counts as simple and low risk. But somehow, as Punk went for it, Uso spun too far. Instead of dropping flat on his back like planned, he got driven down hard and twisted right onto the crown of his head. Punk, looking straight up mad, booted the fallen Uso and dragged him back up to run the move again, a fix you only see when a mistake screams out loud. Uso didn't look thrilled after the bell either, and he got hauled backstage with some aid. Looks like he's banged up bad. Sure, the fight didn't unfold smooth for anybody, but Jey Uso might be gearing up for a dark side switch now that CM Punk took the win. He's been straight about craving another shot at world champion status, and this flop gives him even more fuel to flip bad. The signs popped up already in his run-ins with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. The next few weeks ought to spill details on his hurt spot and where the road leads. Meanwhile, Jey Uso got caught on cam slouched ringside, face like thunder over the mess, yanking off his knee pads. But another clip from right after hints at the true sting behind his sour mood. He couldn't stand Solo and leaned heavy on the ref for support as they headed back, gaze locked dead on the World Heavyweight title, while Punk soaked in his big moment. Odds are he tweaked something nasty in his legs. Word on his condition hangs in the air, with zero updates yet on how he's holding up. Jey Uso wore his frustration plain after the SNME defeat. Once backstage, he hit his social media and typed out, "Y'all win," paired with a middle finger emoji. Y'all win. That line fuels talk the ex-WWE World Heavyweight Champion might just bail on the place. Plus, Jey's raw frustration ties back to how his Battle Royal grab at SNME landed flat with crowds. A bunch hoped LA Knight would pull it off and square up against Punk there. Instead, Jey Uso bounced LA Knight with Jimmy Uso's help. Now it's anyone's guess how Triple H maps out Jey Uso's path after this rough patch of falls. Drew McIntyre and LA Knight have suffered greatly from Triple H's booking. Drew McIntyre hit one more wall at Saturday night's main event, coming up empty against Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. He already dropped the ball at WrestlePalooza, but this round stacked the deck for the Scottish Warrior. The rules said if Rhodes got hit with a disqualification or countout, the belt switched hands. Plenty figured this setup screamed title swap, letting Drew McIntyre claim gold without slowing the QB1's roll. But nope, Rhodes strutted out still champ. Crowd sat stunned as Drew McIntyre ate dirt again, pointing fingers at the Triple H run Story Crew's calls. Then there's LA Knight, another crowd pleaser who keeps drawing the bad card. The megastar hasn't locked in any real wins all year. Tons pushed for him to challenge CM Punk for the Open World Heavyweight title, but Jey Uso snagged that spot, shoving Knight clear off the lineup. Both McIntyre and Knight scream star power. They ooze charm and command the room, spit fire on the mic, and deliver thrillers in the ring. Their dry spells boil down to bad breaks, and how the Triple H-led story team handles them. So, who got hit harder by Triple H's plans? Let's break it down by looking at their roads. LA Knight hunts his first world gold in WWE. He's had shots over the years, but the megastar always misses the mark. Even through the misses, crowds stay in his corner. He's hot, no doubt, but stuck in upper mid-card limbo so long his edge as a title threat has faded thin. Folks hoped the old United States champion would lock in main event status after jumping to Raw in July this year. Plenty bet a brand switch and new faces would spark the megastar's fire. So far, nada. On the red side, Knight's got just one solo TV win, and that came over Kofi Kingston. He's climbed the men's Money in the Bank ladder match 3 years straight, always a hot pick going in, but the megastar crashes out every time. He's tangled with giants like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, holding his own against the best more than once. Still, Triple H hasn't bet big on LA Knight, feeding him losses in key spots and skipping chances to lift him higher. McIntyre mirrors Knight as a proven top gun without the payoffs to match, but the Scotsman differs. He's clutched the WWE Championship twice before. After taking the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble match, Drew McIntyre stripped Brock Lesnar of the WWE title in WrestleMania. 36 is closer. His peak hit rough, though. No live crowd thanks to the outbreak. McIntyre held the fort through WWE's toughest stretch, yet recent stories haven't honored that grit. Since dropping the WWE title to The Miz in 2021, the Scottish Warrior's been stuck chasing world gold non-stop. The Scotsman sniffed victory multiple times but came away empty. He beat the odds to snag the World Heavyweight Championship off Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40, only for the run to crash in under 6 minutes when Damian Priest cashed his MITB. From 2021 on, Drew McIntyre swung and missed at world title shots against Bobby Lashley, Big E, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and now Cody Rhodes. Tough times forge strength, and Triple H loves a long build, but Drew McIntyre risks wiping out all his hard-earned trust from constant knocks. Wrapping this up, on who took the bigger beating from Triple H's plans between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, the Scotsman edges it out. Both stand solid and turn scraps into gold, but McIntyre's proven he can shoulder the whole show, something Knight hasn't gotten to try. With that in mind, Drew McIntyre's path under Triple H's story reign hits him harder than LA Knight. Triple H signs a wrestling legend's sons to WWE. Triple H just wrapped a cool talk with ex-WWE great Tatanka, the top story boss eyes pulling the Icon's boys into the fold. Tatanka ranked as one of WWE's top draws back in the New Generation era. He built a perfect streak in his early days there. The guy has popped up now and then in WWE long after hanging up his full-time boots. In a one-on-one with Sportskeeda's top editor Bill Apter, Tatanka shared how he linked up with the game at a Saturday night's main event shoot. He remembered Triple H spotting his sons and flat out saying they needed to hit the Performance Center for drills. About 3 months ago, I went to Saturday night's main event. Triple H sees both of our boys. I was making an appearance there at ringside. They were having the legends make an appearance. We were there early when they were doing TV. Triple H sees both of my boys, and he says, they gotta get in the Performance Center now. He sends a message. Triple H didn't walk further than 5 feet away, and my phone started blowing up. All the executives of WWE already set an appointment for them to go to the Performance Center. Tatanka noted that the Performance Center crew, from Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker to Matt Bloom, took a shine to the lads and pushed them toward the legendary Heart Dungeon, now handled by WWE's Natalya and her man TJ. They went to the Performance Center and everyone loved them. Matt Bloom, head of the Performance Center, fell in love with them. He called them two studs. Shawn Michaels was there. Undertaker was there, so we came out of that. They had already recommended where they wanted us to go, which I'm so honored to be there. They're actually training in the dungeon. Tatanka's boys pack amateur wrestling roots with a stack of national crowns under their belts. It'll be a thrill to track how they stack up in the pro game ahead. A dream Roman Reigns feud. Ex-WWE great Tatanka just opened up on a killer story idea with Roman Reigns. The icon called Roman one of the best on the current lineup. Roman Reigns rules the peak in WWE. The OTC has anchored the company for the past 10 years. After crushing it with the Bloodline saga, Reigns now rolls solo. Still, he bumps into his cousins, the Usos, all the time. WWE icon Tatanka chatted with Sportskeeda's lead editor Bill Apter not long ago. He hinted at a perfect plot with Roman Reigns and the full Bloodline crew. The great stressed how both hail from proud native roots. Tatanka added his two boys are gearing up for the ring, and someday they could spark a tale with him calling the shots as manager. Who I would love to work with? Roman Reigns. Come on, man. Tribal chief. We're talking about native bloodline, Samoan bloodline, and we're bringing two boys in right now. So I'm going to be the manager. You never know what could happen here in the future. Roman last stepped in the ring at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. He kicked things off in a wild Australian street fight against Bronson Reed. The bout exploded into mess when Braun Breaker and the Usos jumped in. Jey Uso even clipped Roman by mistake, letting Reed score a massive upset over the OTC. Reigns hasn't hit WWE screens since. As the push builds for Survivor Series, eyes stay peeled on Roman's comeback. Tony Khan freezes out wrestlers he thinks are WWE-bound. If you're eyeing a switch to WWE, don't count on much screen time in AEW. Not when Tony Khan holds the reins. On a fresh Wrestling Observer radio show, Dave Meltzer laid out sharp clues on why some wrestlers vanish from AEW lineups. The chat sparked over David Finlay, boss of the War Dogs crew, staying off AEW TV even as his crew pops up. Meltzer held back on hard facts, but laid out the straight talk on why Finlay might be ghosting the show. Maybe there's the feeling that David is going to end up in WWE, and Tony doesn't want to use him, Meltzer speculated. Meltzer yanked the veil wider on Khan's take when booking folks already halfway gone. Tony Khan doesn't want to use people who are going to go to WWE, even though it's inevitable that a lot of the guys he's using will end up in WWE just because of how wrestling works. But if you're pretty sure they're gonna go, then why use them? That mindset cuts deep, but it's no shock in the wrestling game. Still, Alvarez pushed back, saying Khan could just slot them in losses on the exit, like bookers have pulled for years. Meltzer shot that down, noting it only clicks if the talent truly belongs to you. Yeah, but not for a guy who's not even in your territory. If you figure they're WWE-bound, it's like, yeah, why use them? There's no upside at that point. This tactic might crack the code on quiet spells beyond David Finlay alone. If Tony Khan smells a wrestler leaning WWE, deal or no deal, that could land them parked on AEW's sidelines. It guards Khan's bets on keepers, but it invites knocks for blocking shots based on hunches alone. What's your read on Tony Khan's play of sidelining talent with WWE whispers?